Hey everybody, I have some great news. New video games are coming out this month. Yep, that's right. In case you thought they would arbitrarily stop releasing games out of nowhere for no reason, rest assured that is not the case. Here are some of, if not most of, if not all of March 2023's biggest game releases. On the first, the multiplayer shooter Leap hops, skips, and jumps its way onto the PlayStations, the Xboxes, and PCs, and for those of you who don't feel like hoofing it through this game on foot, you can hoof it on literal hoof by mounting a robot moose. Sure, why not? On March 3rd, you can get your behind kicked by all sorts of scary fantasy beasts in Wolong Fallen Dynasty, the latest action RPG from the folks behind Nioh. But rather than 1600s Japan, this time they're exploring a dark fantasy version of the Han Dynasty during China's Three Kingdoms period. Probably not the most accurate source of information for a history paper, but you might learn a thing or two along the way. That's on the Xboxes, the PlayStations, and the PC. Dead Cells is one of the best Castlevania games of recent memory in everything but name, but that changes on March 6th when Dead Cells Return to Castlevania sees the Beheaded showing Dracula that he has what it takes to be a man, or at the very least, a miserable pile of secrets. That's on last gen PC and Switch, and since new gen is backwards compatible with last gen, that means it's on everything, and the worst part of these videos is listing all the platforms. Clash Artifacts of Chaos hit PC last year on the 9th. It's on all the consoles except for the Switch, and I really dig the weird-ass world design coupled with cell shading, which gives it kind of a Mobius vibe, but with less full frontal genitalia, sadly. Rated T for teen. Fatal Frame Mask of the Lunar Eclipse was one of the most popular games of 2008 that happened to be about paranormal photography in the Meiji era, and also, on the 9th, it's coming to a bunch of other consoles besides the Nintendo Wii, for which it was formerly an exclusive. Expect less waggling, but just as many frights. It's a good day for Switch owners because that same day, Nintendo's little console that could is getting the 2012 horror game Ib, which has the honor of being the shortest game title on this list. You can also kickflip some ollies and grind some pop shove-its on the go with Session Skate Sim, and there's also No by Heart, which sounds like it could be a trivia game, but it's in fact an adventure game that deals with sadness and anxiety and other such emotional, non-trivial thingies. Speaking of emotions, when mom tells you that you can't drink any more Monster Energy, don't just get cross, get super cross and make a scene. I'm assuming that Monster Energy Supercross 6 is a game about an energy drink deprived 6-year-old having a meltdown, possibly in some very public place like Kohl's or maybe Mervin's. That must be it. Anyway, that's on everything except Switch. On Switch, along with all the platforms that begin with P, is Oni, Road to Become the Mightiest Oni. Oni is the Japanese word for demon, and with that knowledge plus the title of this game, you can probably guess what it's about. The critically acclaimed award-winning Before Your Eyes comes to PlayStation VR 2 on the 10th. This was previously on PC where it used the front-facing webcam on your computer to track when players blinked and implemented that in-game, which is a little bit invasive, but whatever. The PSVR 2 version will be taking that a step further and making use of the headset's eye-tracking technology to make it even more immersive.
I'm watching you, Wazowski. Always watching.
If that's too out there and you'd rather play a colorful superhero game where you fight bad guys and save the day, great news. You can also snag DC's Justice League Cosmic Chaos on everything, which has adorable chibi versions of Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman doing all kinds of superhero stuff. Hopefully, this gets the Snyder Cut treatment and they release an M-rated version with more blood and cussing and the option to play it entirely in black and white.
Well, this should be fun for you, huh?
On the 13th, Mile High Taxi is out on PC, and that is the exact intersection of Crazy Taxi and The Fifth Element, but presumably with less of that one Offspring song and probably no Mila Jovovich. But then again, stranger PC mods have been made. On the 14th, The Legend of Heroes Trails to Azure will be on PS4, Switch, and PC, and that'll be the first official localization of the 2011 JRPG. Meanwhile, the hit PC survival game Valheim has been localized for console players, and that'll be coming to the Xboxes that same day. And yes, I know that localizing a game for a different platform is called a port. I was trying to be cute. Give me a break. Also, I love the idea of these survival games that blow up on PC, but they never click for me, no pun intended, so I'm glad to hear this will be on Game Pass so I can try it out for myself to see if it's the exception to the rule. Also on the 14th is The Wreck, a 3D visual novel that tackles mature themes. Like mature as in somber and dramatic, not, gratuitous and explicit. But hey, who knows? Maybe it's both. That's on everything. On the 16th, the Dark Pictures anthology ventures into VR with Switchback, which essentially makes it a spiritual successor to Supermassive's Until Dawn Rush of Blood, which is on the PSVR 1, once again taking more of a haunted house amusement park ride to this horror stuff than their usual cinematic narrative approach. One of the worst things about horror in VR is that you can't look away when things get too scary. You just have to close your eyes, and this game is going to punish you for doing even that. Once again, thanks to the PSVR 2's eye-tracking technology. Mannequins that only move when you're not looking? No thank you.
Everything I read, all the stories, it's all true.
Something that sounds much less panic attack inducing than that is the next-gen version of Anno 1800, the latest installment in the city building series, which came to PC back in 2019. You hear that? Next-gen power, finally capturing the thrill of city planning during the Industrial Revolution. On the 17th, Bayonetta's origins are explored in Syriza and the Lost Demon, and this has a more stylized aesthetic than the mainline Bayonetta games, which has rustled the jimmies of some fans. But you know what? It's something to hold you over until Bayonetta 4, which hopefully doesn't take as long to make as Bayonetta 3 did. If you want to make a realistic Bayonetta and have her pile driving and clotheslining all sorts of big muscle men and muscle women, you can do exactly that in WWE 2K23. WWE 2K22 was apparently a big improvement on the previous entry, so let's hope that this year's installment continues that trend. Remnant from the Ashes was a blend of third-person shooting with a Soulsborne-y risk-reward gameplay loop, and people seemed to enjoy it when it came out in 2019, and now more people can enjoy it when it hits the Nintendo Switch on the 21st. Have a Nice Death is a cartoony 2D action roguelite that has you playing as a not particularly grim-looking Reaper, and it's been in early access on PC for a while, but on the 22nd it'll be officially out and available for Switch. On the 23rd, Atelier Ryza 3 Alchemist of the End and the Secret Key drops, which is the follow-up to Atelier Ryza Ever Darkness and the Secret Hideout, and Atelier Ryza 2 Lost Legends and the Secret Fairy, and will hopefully be followed up by Atelier Ryza 4 shorter title and the Secret Thesaurus. That's on the PlayStations and the Switch. Also on the 23rd, Storyteller, an indie game that's been in the works since 2009. A 2012 prototype got some attention, but the project wound up in development hell, which can happen pretty easily when only one person is making the game. Anyway, Annapurna Interactive is publishing, which is usually a good endorsement. That's on Switch and PC. On March 24th, EA Sports PGA Tour comes to new gen and PC, and it's about golf, and I would rather have my head chainsawed off than think about golf, and thankfully I have the option to do exactly that very same day when Resident Evil 4 Remake arrives on the PlayStations, the PC, and the Xbox Series. RE4 did not need a remake, but it rules, so I'm glad it's getting a remake. The good news is that Capcom said that no content has been cut aside from Leon's head from his body, and the better news is that new content has been added. I'm looking forward to this game so much, with the exception of that Verdugo boss fight, which I am dreading. And I know it's easy, you just shoot the barrels and you freeze him and then shoot him in the head with a gun a bunch, but it's still scary. I don't want to do it. On the 28th, you can go do bad stuff in crime boss Rocky City. That is the Vice City looking game announced back at the Game Awards, which features a star-studded cast including Michael Madsen, Michael Rooker, Danny Trejo, Danny Glover, Kim Basinger, Vanilla Ice, and sure, why not, Chuck Norris. Could the money spent on all those big names have been better utilized developing the actual game itself? I'm dying to find out. Anyway, that's on PC and it's coming to new gen later on. Also on the 28th is MLB The Show 23, which is on all the consoles, and that is a video game wherein professional baseball players play baseball in a professional capacity. And I would rather have my head ripped in half by a big angry mushroom man than talk about baseball. And luckily, I can do exactly that when The Last of Us Part 1 hits PC that same day. That is perfect timing since the HBO show's season finale is just a few weeks earlier. I guess maybe the original release date of March 3rd would have been perfect timing, but you know what? Better late than never. And if you haven't been keeping track, this is the PC port of the PS5 remake of the PS4 game, which was itself a remaster of the critically acclaimed PS3 game. But the point is, it's a good game, and now more people can play it, and more importantly, PC people can make mods that replace all the character models with the ones from Simpsons Hit and Run like they did for God of War, which is going to be pretty funny. I hope they make all the clickers look like Groundskeeper Willie.
Glad to rake your acquaintance.
On the 30th, Dredge will have you trawling the murky depths and likely reeling in some Lovecraftian horrors like Cthulhu's and Dagons and Shoggoths and Azathoths and maybe some regular-ass big gross fish from the deep, deep sea. And really, those regular fish are pretty scary. Don't go in the ocean. It's horrible down there. No one should be in there. If you'd like some cosmic horrors of a more adolescent variety, Cosmonious High is a VR game from the folks behind Job Simulator that has you attending an alien high school, and it actually looks a lot more endearing and pleasant than Earthling High School. I don't know, maybe I just had a crappy high school experience. Anyway, those are the games coming out this month. How was your high school experience? Actually, better question, in the immortal words of the RE4 merchant, what are you buying? What are you selling? Or what are you trading in? So you could buy stuff. Let me know in the comments, and also, did we forget anything? Again, let me know in the comments, or write us a postcard. No one ever does that. The point is, the games are coming out, unless they stop making them, but if they continue to make them, we'll be back next month with another one of these videos.